Well, TPMS, it's kind of like LOL or JK. Kind of sounds like something you'd text to a friend.
Right, but don't, because instead, TPMS stands for Tire Pressure Monitoring System. One of our viewers has a question about his.
Yeah, that's our third question for Peter Fink this morning. He's the owner of Certified Transmission. Good to see you, Peter.
Very good, Mary. I'm impressed on that.
You know,
if I got that across my text, I'd probably be going, "Oh, what's that?"
Right.
Unless I knew it was talking about a car.
No,
you know,
I didn't know until I looked it up online, getting ready for this segment.
You
yes, I did.
All right, look it up. All right, let's get to that first question. Our first question from Melissa. A repair shop told me that the suspension is going on my 2009 Hyundai Elantra, and it's causing a shredding on my tires. How long can I go before fixing this, assuming it's a valid concern?
Well, first of all, I've always said tires, brakes, and suspension, to me, they're all safety things, okay? If it's already starting to cause your tires to go bad, I mean, it means it is time like yesterday to get it fixed, okay? So if you're doubting it, what I would recommend to do is get a second opinion, okay? Go to another shop, have them look at it and see if they see what's wrong with it, okay, and stuff. I have said many times, I know on my own vehicles and company vehicles, when we put new tires on, I put new shocks on, because tires will run 60, 70,000 miles, okay? By then the shocks need to be replaced, and that's what holds the tire to the ground. Now, I don't know if that's what they mean, if it's shocks, or if we actually have a suspension component, such as a tire rod end or a ball joint or something like this, but don't mess around with suspension stuff. If it's loose, it's unsafe as far as I'm concerned. So you need to get it fixed.
Okay. I think we know how you feel. I like that. Hard line.
Yep.
Allie writes, my boyfriend's 1995 Grand Marquis has a leak toward the mid area of the engine. It is accompanied by a bad odor, rotten eggs. Any idea what it could be?
Well, I think we might have two problems here, okay, is what it's sounding like to me. If we've got a leak, when they say the middle of the engine, usually they mean kind of the middle of the car, okay? And that usually is, if it's a simple one, it's going to be valve covers leaking down, and it runs down the back of the engine, and it drips underneath the car, kind of behind the front wheel somewhere, okay? If you've got bad luck, it could be the rear main engine oil seal, and that one is expensive, okay? And that one's not a nice one, or the engine oil pan or something. But don't be guessing, okay? You need to get it to a shop. They need to check it out and see what we got. The rotten egg smell, now, if oil's getting on the exhaust, it will give a smell, but usually not rotten eggs. Usually if it smells like rotten eggs, what that is the engine is running too rich, and it's overloading the catalytic converter, and it's going to ruin the catalytic converter if you don't get the engine running properly. So that usually means of some kind of tune-up. Now, when I say tune-up, I don't mean spark plugs. Tune-up means to get the engine properly running again, and that might be anything from carburetor, okay, because this one, 95 would be carbureted most likely. I don't think it's fuel injected. It could be spark plug wires, ignition coil, it could be anything. Truthfully, you need to get it to a good shop. If you don't know one, call one of my shops. They can refer some shop to go to, okay, depending where you live. We do that all the time, okay. We don't fix it, but we can refer you to a good shop.
In the end, it sounds like they may need to spend some money on this.
Unfortunately, it's probably going to, but you know, that's a nice big car. You know, you might spend $1,000 or something, but truthfully, you can't replace it for that. If it's good, dependable transportation, it's always worth fixing.
It's going to cost you more to go buy a new one. All right, our third and final question is from Kevin. The TPMS sensor in my '05 Honda Pilot's not working. Is it worth fixing, or is that just more of a luxury item?
Well, it's kind of a luxury item. Obviously, we got along with for 100 years without them, okay, and stuff. But I think it's a nice feature, okay. And truthfully, usually it's not super expensive. Even if you have to buy a new sensor, you do have to dismount the tire. They got to put it in and then program it and stuff. You know, it might be $150 or something. But I really like that feature, because most people, you just don't know when your tires are low. And radials, a lot of times, I'll look at the wife's tire and say, man, it looks low. Her car doesn't have that. It's before, okay, it's an older car a little bit. And, you know, sometimes it's low, sometimes it's not. And so it's even fooling me, okay? And, you know, I got to get the tire gauge out. So I'd like that feature, okay? So I think it's worth... Are they that
accurate, though? I wonder about that. How accurate are they?
They're pretty accurate. They're pretty accurate. So, I mean, usually if the light comes on, usually it's low or too much. Either side, it'll monitor. It's within a window. And so I like it. I mean, you know, as long as we're not talking than $1,000, well, then I probably wouldn't fix it. But for $150 or something, I would definitely fix it.
It all depends on how much that luxury is worth to you.
Well, exactly.
And it's a 10-year-old vehicle, too.
Well, you know, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. You don't get much done for $150.
Back to Peter's
okay,
point. No, if you, it's
gotta
cheaper than
debate
I'm
Right.
older than that by a long shot, you know, so I mean, come on, you know,
Yeah.
so I mean, you know, if it's a good and not rusted out, a good dependable vehicle, I would think it's worth fixing, because what happens is that snowball effects. You skip this, you skip that,
Right,
you
right,
skip
right.
that. Next, you say my car's a piece of junk, okay?
Right,
So
right.
I mean, I like staying on
Staying
top
up
of
on
it.
all that stuff, yeah.
Yeah, personally,
Peter,
I
you
do.
are like shooting straight today. I appreciate this.
I thought I always
No,
do,
you
but,
do.
you
every
know.
day, I'm
But,
pretty
but
sure.
he's just like
Well,
putting it
we
out
had
there.
different questions today, okay?
Yeah,
You
which
know, so.
it's a great point though, because the more specific your questions are, the better an answer Peter can provide. So in terms of make, model, year, all of that stuff matters. If you have a transmission issue, of course, 5 locations, 4 certified in our area, and if it's not a problem that they can help you with, you can also get a recommendation about another shop, sort of a good place to do business, if you will. As like to say, it's certified, the job done right at the right price. They believe in taking good care of everybody. Peter, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
All right.
Appreciate it. And your question.